The Golden State Warriors advanced past the Houston Rockets in a crazy game where if I told you Stephen Curry is going to start the game out and have 3 fouls and 0 points at the half, and at the half, without Kevin Durant, the two teams will be tied, you would not believe me. And that's exactly what happened. And then they go on, and Stephen Curry continues to score 33 points in the second half, 10 in the third, 23 in the fourth. Absolutely amazing. It's a twofold game. You can look at the game like Golden State Warriors fought and clawed and they won the game and closed out Houston, or you can look at it as Houston choked. I'm gonna look at it from a perspective that Houston choked mightily. Game 5, when Kevin Durant went down, the game was tied and then Houston took a brief lead, and the Golden State Warriors had a pick and roll with Stephen Curry, and he continued to make play after play after play. Houston Rockets should have won Game 5. They didn't. Going to Game 6, everybody thought they were going to win Game 6. They're at home. There was no Kevin Durant. The Warriors seemed to be deflated. And even with a 7-point lead in the fourth, they couldn't get anything going. James Harden, everybody's like, well, Harden and CP3 had good games. At the end of the day, there's no such thing as a good game if you're going to lose the game, period. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if it's a game like this where everything is in your favor, you got to remember this, guys. All last summer, all we heard about was, oh, we would have won if CP3 never had that hamstring injury. We would have closed them out. Essentially, the basketball gods turned the tables on the Warriors, put them in the same position as Houston was in last year. And guess what? Same thing, same scenario, different result. So all that talk about, hey, we would have won if we had a CP3 in the lineup, I don't believe it. I was believing it, and that's why I chose the Houston Rockets initially to win the series. Before KD went down, I was like, okay, maybe it makes sense. The Warriors' defense is not right. Houston's defense is better this year. They're a great team. James Harden is the MVP, etc., etc. And to watch them lay an egg, Game 5, but then lay a bigger goose egg in Game 6 without KD being there, allow Steph Curry to get 33 points in the second half. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely. James Harden had 6 turnovers in the game. Towards the end of the game, he dribbles the ball off his foot. Remind you of when they played the Spurs, they got eliminated for no reason. I think they got eliminated without Kawhi playing that game. Makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. No sense whatsoever. A lot of people could deserve a game ball. Klay Thompson's one of them, 27 points. Of course, Steph, Kevin Looney, definitely. The whole Warriors bench, everybody contributed. And you look at the Houston Rockets starting lineup, everybody was a negative in terms of plus minus. It's crazy. It's crazy. All the smack talk that the Houston Rockets were doing, all of this, oh, CP3 didn't play. They didn't have Kevin Durant, and they still whooped you. Everybody would have been happy if the series went to a Game 7 and, Warriors fall and they lose a Game 7 on their home court. You guys can't even take it to a Game 7 minus Kevin Durant, which is absolutely asinine. And then you think about this. A lot of people don't mention this. Last year, Rockets in Game 6, they had a 15-point lead or 20-point lead. They blew it. Okay, they go back to Houston. 15-point lead. They blew it. In this game, it wasn't like the Warriors had a huge lead. In Game 5, they didn't have a huge lead. And in Game 6, they have a huge lead. In this series, each game has been decided by 6 points or less. First time, I think, in playoff history, in the semifinals. So these get tight games, nail-biters. And your MVP, which everybody was saying, because I was picking Giannis Antetokounmpo would have my vote if I had to give a vote. Because I felt like his impact on the game transcended the whole entire team, made the whole entire team better. You're telling me your MVP with a Game 5 where the other team's best player goes down can't close out. Okay, you go back home. Your MVP at home can't push into a Game 7. Rockets don't have no heart. The analytics are flawed. You know what I'm saying? All this shooting threes and all this stuff is flawed because when you look at all the numbers between the two teams, the rebounds were equal, 50 rebounds. They both made 42 field goals each. Warriors just shot a better percentage because they took less shots. So your philosophy is the more shots we take, the more we're going to make. But you ended up even with the Warriors. Both had 42 field goals made. Absolutely no sense. This whole analytics that doesn't work because basketball isn't played on paper. It's not played on in a calculator. It's played on the floor. And the Warriors made the proper adjustments. Even when they were trapping Steph, he was giving up the ball to Draymond. Draymond would make the proper play. I mean, they played an excellent game, and Houston helped them. Houston, you got to tip your hat to the Warriors, but Houston really helped them. But now here's the scenario. Here's what's going to happen now. No more talk about James Harden is a top player or a top tier player. I can't see it no more. Nope. No more talk about all this MVP stuff. And you know what really kills it? I wish they would do the MVP awards before the NBA Finals, like before the playoffs start, because then you get a proper representation of the person that wins the award. Now that we see James Harden lose to the Warriors in this fashion, that's going to sway some votes. I don't know if they cast their ballots already, but that's going to sway opinion because now you're seeing like, okay, in the postseason, this game doesn't translate. And I don't think that's fair to him. But what is fair to him is this. When the things are on a silver platter for him to take, he's not taking it. I don't know what it is. And CP3 is included in that conversation as well. Last night was the only game he had really, really good game in the series. He had 27 points, I believe, like 11 rebounds, and like 6 or 7 assists. But other than that, he did nothing throughout the series. So, those two guys, a lot's going to wear on their head. Their reputation is taking a huge hit. They're no longer top-tier players and none of that stuff. None of it. I don't want to hear it anymore. I'm never going to pick them to win anything ever again, point blank, period. Like, they're done. But there is a silver lining for them because James Harden at the podium was like, he knows what they need to do to beat the Warriors. And they asked him, what is that? And he said, don't ask me that question or whatever. I just know. James Harden is going to get Mike D'Antoni fired. Either that or he's going to step down. Because we all know Mike D'Antoni doesn't get fired. He quits you before you quit him. He quit on the Knicks. He quit on the Lakers. That's what he does. Point blank, period. So, that being said, they're going to need a coaching change. Because you can't play basketball like that. Like, just shooting a bunch of threes. There's no kind of in-between actions. No easy baskets. It's a layup. You got to create by yourself or you're shooting a three. You just can't win like that. You can't win at all like that. And James Harden sees that. I mean, he has a team with CP3, James Harden, all these other guys. You would think they would be able to, like, use Nene in the post. You got Eric Gordon. He needs to be coming off some down screens. Like, little things like that, little wrinkles in your game that will make it so much easier for everybody. They just don't use it. It doesn't make sense to me. But like I said before, this is an epic game by Golden State Warriors, but also this is a choke by the Houston Rockets. They choked. They choked Game 5. They choked Game 6 away. All these Houston fans, anybody that roots for Houston, look, Beyonce didn't jinx you guys or nothing. All that talk, like, that's the thing you gotta watch when people be like, well, we would have won if we had this, or this would have happened if we had this. The same exact scenario came to plague the Warriors that plagued Houston. Same everything, basically. Everything. Golden State had to win 2 games. They had to win Game 6 at home and win Game 7. They did. They handled their business. Houston, next year, same scenario for you. You cannot handle your business. This is absolutely ridiculous. This is it's mind-boggling. And if anybody's acting like this is not a big deal, Golden State Warriors are a good team. They were a good team, but they had Harrison Barnes. They had a lot of other pieces as well. Iguodala was younger. Livingston was younger. Bogut was younger. Bogut played last night. He had 0 points. Back then, Bogut could give you 8 to 10 to 12 points and 15 rebounds. It's a different team without Kevin Durant. Their depth is completely lost. And then for them to go in there and rely on McKinney's, Bells, Kevon Looney's, for all those guys to show up, but James Harden can't show up down the stretch, That's an indictment on James Harden, his career, his legacy. His legacy is this: he's the guy that gets eliminated. He's the second tier kind of guy. And I don't want to disrespect like a Charles Barkley. I don't want to disrespect those guys, because those guys, to me, they showed up. But James Harden, I can't even put James Harden in the Charles Barkley category. He's below that, like, because he's like a fleeting star, a shooting star. He gives you something good, very bright for a short period of time. But when it's crunch time, he can't deliver. And all this talk about Steph struggling, look who delivers in the clutch. PJ Tucker's their best defender. PJ Tucker, he's a lockdown defender. He wasn't locking anything down when he got clank, and shot in the face. Oh, how about this? That dribble handoff between Draymond and Steph. Steph hits Draymond hits right back. Steph shoots it. He gets hit on the arm. Should have been a foul and one. They don't call anything. Still nails it. So all this lockdown defender, all this other stuff. Just remember that Dellavedova back in the finals, 2015. Dellavedova was locking up Steph Curry. No sir. So Warriors advance. This is crazy. But the Houston, you gotta feel really bad for Houston. You gotta feel bad for Houston. Give Golden State all the credit, but Houston takes part of the blame as well. That game was even. Look at all the stats, all the shooting stats, all the numbers. It was even all around the board. You know what won the game? Defense and basically heart, which Houston doesn't have either. Hoops Junction, where hoops meets hoopla. Like, comment, subscribe.